Hi folks, this is Steve Donovan from the design team for Campaign Manager. This is just a quick overview of the Campaign Manager software in action. You're just looking here at the user interface for managing campaigns, and these four stats here are the primary key performance indicators that most dialer customers would be interested to see. So this is the total number of outbound calls today for the whole business, how many of those calls were answered, and what that represents as a percentage. So this is our connect rate and gives us an indication as to the quality of the data. This next stat here is the number of decision maker conversations that have been had, and that's 44% of these 25 answered calls. And the decision maker rate, or the decision maker numbers, are an indication as to the quality of the staff, how well they do at getting past the gatekeeper to the decision maker. And then ultimately 18.2% of those decision maker conversations resulted in a sale. So they're the four stats that most people want to look for, and we present them very clearly in the system. We also let you drill into a campaign to see the information in more detail with a very specific list of all of the outcomes that have taken place. So what I'm going to do now is just show you how you would load Campaign Manager. Most of you may be familiar with Mitel Phone Manager, and there's a Campaign Manager button up here, and that will launch this form. And the form here is designed with information on the left, with actions on the right, and the screen pop of, in this particular demo, screen pop of the Microsoft CRM database in the center. So I'm just going to log in. I get 10 seconds of wrap up, 5 seconds of wrap up, and that counts down, and then it goes away and dials the number for me. There's the screen pop on a connected call, and here are the disposition codes for this particular call. So if this was an answering machine, I would just click this button here. It can be designed to drop the call and just dial the next number. You see the information appearing here. You can see any history of previous calls or any notes that may have been added. You can use this notes field here. But I'll draw your attention to this area up here. This is showing the user their own personal stats. So this user has made 43 calls today. They've spoken to 11 decision makers and made 2 sales. And in this case, I'm going to decide to call this person back in 4 hours. So I'm going to hang up that call and it'll dial the next number. And I can see here I've got 10 seconds of wrap up counting down. When that gets to 0, it'll dial the next number. And then it'll screen pop the contact record again. Now this time I'm going to click Lost Sale. Now the significance of that is I must have spoken to a decision maker contact, because I've had a conversation that resulted in no sale. When I clear this call, the decision maker contacts here are going to increase like this. And then finally, I have a conversation with the customer where I make a sale. I click Sale, and I clear the call. I can terminate the wrap early if I wish, and I can see that the sale has gone up to 3. If the customer decides, okay, call me back on Wednesday next week, I can click this timed call back. I can go to Wednesday and say, okay, I'll call you at 10 a.m. on Wednesday. And then I can clear the call, and I can terminate the wrap early, or I can maybe pause the call. Maybe I'm on a break. So now what happens is I'm in the paused state. That means the dialer isn't going to dial. I've given my supervisor a reason why I'm in the paused state, and it will sit there waiting for me to unpause, if you will, in order to carry on. And that can be useful in a situation where you need to pause the dialer because you simply need more time to type notes. So when I click this button again, it will now dial the next number for me. And now I'm just going to click another sale. I clear the call. I'm going to end that call. And now this time, I'm just going to clear the call. I'm going to end the wrap, but it's going to say, you didn't disposition the last call. So it's put me automatically into the pause state. I'm going to say, okay, that was a lost sale. Now that I click lost sale, it will make me free and dial the next number. And in this case, if I wish, I can hold the call like this and retrieve it, or I can consult and transfer the call. In this case, in fact, I'm going to click lost sale again. I'm going to clear, and now I'm just going to log out to finish the process. So then in the meantime, all of the stats have been centrally updated for the supervisor to keep track of what's going on in the business. And that's it. Thanks for watching.